Hello, hello. Hey, Mama. How are you? Some more dinos tonight, everybody. When you come on, say hi, so I know you're there. It sometimes tells me who's watching, but not always. So just pop in and say hi. Hi, Cheryl. Okay, so on Monday, we did this sweet little dino from this herbivores. We also stamped this other one right here. Oh, it was great. I had a great day yesterday. I really did. I'll tell you more about it in a minute. I already put them on here to stamp the third one from the herbivores, because we're going to color every single one of these at some point. And then the pterodactyl right here, and the T-Rex. The only one that didn't make it on here is the velociraptor, but we'll stamp him another time. I also was able to fit these little prints right here. So this is what we're going to stamp tonight. So yesterday, when I was supposed to go live, I was babysitting my grandson. Let me start by saying I got up in the morning and I was super happy. I was supposed to go have lunch with my sister, and then my daughter and my grandson wanted to take me to see Jurassic World Domination. So I was super excited, but when I woke up in the morning, hi Linda, my mouth hurt so bad from the crown that they put on the temporary crown they put on Monday. So I called them up and I said, I think my bite is off. So they got me in, so I had to go to the dentist at 11 and have them fix the bite. And it was wonderful, because once they fixed it, I mean, my mouth is still sore, and he said it'd be sore for probably a week, but it was so much better after they fixed the bite. And he said it was way, way off. It's just hard to set your bite when your mouth is numb. So anyway, I did that. I got that out of the way, and then I went and saw the dinosaur movie, and then I got to bring my grandson home with me. And he was spending the night, and we were in the middle of the movie Encanto. I'd never seen it before, and it was so good, and almost over, and my grandson said, I'm tired, I'm ready to go to bed. And I was like, right now? It was like 10 to 10, and he said, yeah, and he wanted me to take him, so I posted that I was just going to spend that time with him, and then my husband and I finished the movie after I got to read to him and sing to him, so I decided to spend that time with him, and so I wasn't able to do a live last night, but we're going to have to double stamp this, I can already tell. But it was very nice. It was a very pleasant evening. My husband took my grandson and I to have marble slab, and I got like an individual cookie from the Great American Cookie Company, which is my absolute favorite. And then my grandson spent the day with me today, so that was awesome. Even though I had to work, he still was with me all day, and he was such a good boy. I was so super proud of him. He just sat and watched movies and played with his toys and was just a really good boy. So it was a super great birthday. I'm going to do these feet again because I want them to be really dark. But I'm struggling with only touching the feet with this. But yeah, so it was a great birthday. It was a lot of fun. Got to see Jurassic World. Yes, it is nice to get to spend time with them. When I'm traveling so much, sometimes a little bit of time passes between there, and it makes me a little sad when I don't get to see him. But we had a lot of fun and hung out, and as soon as we got done with the movie, he's like, "Grandma, I want to come to your house. I want to come to your house." So I was like, "Of course you can come to my house." And Haley had practice for her play rehearsal for the play that's coming up that she's in. So she got to go to her rehearsal, and I got to take care of Cooper for my birthday. So it was nice. I'm sorry for the squeaky, but I have to clean these off so they don't get messed up. Well, I'm not going to put them away, but I do like to clean them off. I don't like to leave the ink on them. Hi, Renska. So yeah, it was super fun and relaxing. I did a lot of stuff. I was out all day. I saw Jurassic World Dominion. I've seen it twice now. Not a surprise for you guys who know me so well and know how much I love dinosaurs. I have already been to the theater twice. I went to see it. And both times it was wonderful. I loved it. I've loved every one of the Jurassic World movies and the Jurassic Park movies. Every one of them. I've loved every one of them. And I'm so glad for the way that they ended and went through this one, because I think they did a really good job. I was a little bit worried that they were going to try to make it like, I don't want to say any spoilers, but I was really concerned that they would make it like that really unbelievable, type of ending, but it was very good. Oh, that's super exciting, Cheryl. That's very, very exciting. Cooper's the only one I have. He's 4 now, and he's a good boy. He's the only grandbaby that I have, so Grandma got to spoil him big time. This one, I'm just going to use my multi-liner real quick to darken the eye on this one, because we are for sure coloring this one tonight. So I stamped this one the other night. We're going to color this one and one more. So I was thinking the pterodactyl. Eventually we're going to color the other ones, but I think we need a lot more time to do him, so we're going to do him on another night. Maybe I'll do these two. We'll do the pterodactyl on him on it. I don't know. What do you think? Which one do you want to see? We're going to do this one. Which one do you want to see next? There's 3. T-Rex, pterodactyl, or stegosaurus, and the triceratops. Any references? I went today with my hubby and great nephew. Oh, did you like it? I loved it. It was long, but it didn't feel long at all. I mean, I couldn't believe it. The first time we saw it, we went in for 9:30 movie, and we got out at midnight, and I was like, wow, was that movie really that long? Because it surely didn't feel like it. But I guess it was. So, yeah. Super duper fun. I love having Cooper here with me too, for sure. Any of them will be good. Okay, awesome. So I'll just sit this one aside and think about it while we do this one. Look, it looks like there's nothing on my desk. Oh, the Stegosaurus. Okay, we can do that. It looks like there's nothing on my desk, but everything's outside the perimeter. It's kind of a little deceiving looking for you guys. It looks like, oh, look at her with her nice clean desk. It's not really clean, I promise. Okay, so we're going to do this little guy. We did this one in green and blue. So we should probably pick different colors, not green and not blue. And I was kind of thinking I wanted to make this one look a little bit on the girly side. Let's see. Certain ones face, like the T-Rex and the Brontosaurus both face that direction, and these ones face this direction. So if we're going to put any of them on a card together, these two, I want them to match, you know. I haven't decided which ones to put on there, but I'm trying to pay attention to which way they go. So if that one, if it's one that faces that way, I don't want to do it in green and blue because I don't want it to be the same as the Brontosaurus. So just wanted to analyze that a little bit. Not that I really need, you know, that was just for my own benefit. But let's see. Okay, so I could color every dinosaur purple, but I'm not going to do that. I was thinking more on like the pinkish color, like maybe the RVs is what I was thinking. Let's test out. I think this one, let's get our swatchy. And I was thinking, I don't want it to be red because I don't want to put, pink. I don't want it to be red because if I put it with the green one, I don't want to look like it's a Christmas dinosaurs. This is RV29. I want to see if we can mix some of the RVs that look like purple and some of the RVs that look more like pink. So that's what we're going to try to do. So let's see. I think this is RV19. See, it's a little more pinky. Like this one's brighter, this one's darker. So we should start with this one. I think RV19. Then RV29, I think that goes better that way. 1929. We'll kind of switch back and forth. This one's RV. Well, this one I opened on the wrong end. This one's RV09. Let's see how that goes. See, that's pink matches up really well. And then RV25 goes back. Yeah, look, see, that's way more pink. I like that. This is, this other one I picked is RV06. Oh, I do like that. But I want to try this one as well. See, that one's RV55, but I think that's too dull. I really want to end, hi Sarah, I really want to end it with a really bright pink, so I think I want to use that one, not this one. So we're going to stick with the RV06, I think. So that is the plan. I'll hold my finger over it. We're going to do it just like this. This is going to be our color combo right here. So we're going to do this one. And then I think we need another color. I'm definitely going to do our little horns up there like the bone color we did the other night. We'll use that same bone color so they have some color that meets back in the middle. I'm not going to use the grays. I'm just going to use the E's with this one that kind of looks skinish color to bring it back to the bone-ish color. I think that's what I want to do with those. if we feel real spontaneous, maybe we'll stick another shade of a color in here once we get started. But let's just see how it rolls out. And if it looks good just the way we do it, then we won't do that. But if not, then we'll change it up a bit. So tonight my hubby did a test run on his costume. I took some pictures, but they're on my phone, so I can't show them to you. So sorry. I dressed him all up right before the live, so RV 29, 19, 09, RV 25, and then RV 06. These are the 5 colors we're going to do this dinosaur in, but we're going to do the bone colors first, because when you use such bright colors like the red, sometimes the lighter colors will pull some of that color into them, so we want to get this out of the way first. So RV 43, 42, and then I like to put 51 and then 41. So this is usually pretty close to my bone combo, except I sometimes add W to it. Oh, really? You're going to Joplin tomorrow, huh? I'm trying to zoom. That's why we're having a little earthquake here. Ah, there we go. I wanted to zoom in just a little bit closer so you guys can really see what I'm doing. That's awesome, Mom. I don't know how you're gonna get your car back. Yeah, I have to go back with her. So we're gonna start with E43. Oh, if I hadn't told you or you guys didn't know, my husband's birthday is Friday. So we both have June birthdays. We're Geminis together. So now that I had my birthday, now we have to switch modes and get ready for his, and then Father's Day is on Sunday. So much going on. Okay, so I'm just going to do these 3 first, but I think we'll come back and do the tips of the, I don't know what you even call that. And then the little toenails, I think we're going to do those in this color as well. I see. That makes sense. Very nice. I know she doesn't like to drive that much by herself. E42 is next. So I'm just going to pull from where I put the 43. And now it looks pretty brownish. So this is why we pull in. I will. Hi, Kathy. I will definitely tell him. He just got out of costume and he was sweating, so he's up in the shower now, so he can't read the comments yet until he comes back downstairs. E51, this is where I like to bring in a little bit of a brighter shade for the bone-ish color. It starts looking a little flesh tone-ish, but I mean, our dinos are alive. And then I'm going to finish that with E41, and I probably could have done all those other little spots at the same time because this didn't take very long. So with the last color, I'm going to come from the top and go into so I can cover that skin tone looking color. So, and they blend really well. I really like this for when I'm doing some kind of bone. It's my favorite mix for that. So I have a question for you guys. I got 6 people watching, and I'm curious, really curious, how many of you have our color cards from the shop? Give me a do a thumbs up comment if you have them, or say you do, or whatever, because I've had them for quite some time, but I haven't had any time to play with them. And then my mom asked me if I would print them for her after she bought them. So I thought, if she's going to buy them and bring them over for me to print, then I should be familiar with coloring them in case she wants to color a couple of them while she's with me, so I can, you know, help her through that, so she'll be used to doing them. So I've been practicing with my color cards, and let me tell you, they are worth it. They are not the standard, like, so let's say, for example, there's a set for purple and there's a set for teal or blue. I can't remember whether what I think she called it blue. There's a set for teal and blue. There's now 11 sets in the shop. Blue, teals, reds, greens. There's some blonde, brunette, several. I mean, there's 11 sets. So I wanted to show you guys this because it's kind of amazing. So what I did was I went through and I printed them all for my, you know, I went through all mine I had and I printed them all, and I printed the colored version, and then I wanted to see how different it would look if I colored it myself, which really means the colored, oh, you don't have them either, Rinska? You would like, I really think you'd like them. But hold on, I'll show you a couple examples because I have two of them fully colored. And I'm working on the third one, but I haven't gotten very far. This is E51. I'm just going to fill it in with the E51, and then I'm going to go over it with the 41 to tone it down just a little bit. But that's what I'm doing while I'm chit-chatting with you. Anyway, so I've done many, many, many color combo cards, all those things. You like the dresses, so the skin, hair, and outfit all on the same card. Yeah, it's awesome. So, I mean, over the many years that I've been coloring, I have colored a ton of them. I even have a book where I keep them all in. Rinska, you may have even seen it because I've had one book for quite some time where I did hair and skin and, you know, all these different color charts. Most of them, some of them had repetitive colors. So they were the typical ones that when you did the Copic class, like the actual certification class and stuff, like they would teach that same kind of color combo for skin or hair or whatever. And I was pleasantly surprised at how these colors mix together. So that's it for our skin tone on this one. So I'm going to put that aside. We'll need to pull out our pinks, RV 29, 19, 09, 25, and 06. So before I start coloring that part, I'm going to show you. So these are the teal swatches. Blue, teal, whatever you want to call them. Okay, so they look like this. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see them all the way. Okay, so this is actually the printed version of it. Okay, so it's, I mean, it's gorgeous, right? So then I started coloring them, and this is my hand colored version of that. Look at the difference between the hand colored version and what my printer will give you. I mean, they're very close. You can tell I used the right colors. You can tell I did the same thing, but look at how they pop when you do them yourself. And the color combos, they're just amazing. So this is the bottom section of this one. This is what they look like. This is what they look like when I colored them. See how more vibrant they are? It's absolutely stunning. I just was mesmerized by it. So I also did the purple one, so I'll show you that too. So this is the purple one that I printed out. This is the version that Jamie colored and what it looks like based on my printer. Yours might look different, might look better, might look less, might look worse. I don't know. You never know. It just depends on the quality of your printer. These are the ones that I colored. Look at the difference. So these are the same colors, exactly the same colors, and look at the vibrancy in the one that I did. Isn't that shocking? Same with this one. Look at how different these are. They were so fun, and they give you so much practice. Look at how you get that smooth shade from one to the other. And let me tell you, these numbers are not the typical, like all these numbers on here aren't the typical ones that just should go smoothly. But I was able to smooth them all out pretty much, and I just loved it. I just think that Jamie did an excellent job when she came up with the color combos for that. So if you've never tried them, you should try at least one and check it out, because it's really good practice. And they're not all just in color sequence numbers. There's some skipping around and some using fluorescent like I like to do at night. So I was really impressed with how good they are. So if you wanted any to practice with, those are some really awesome cards. I'm currently working on the pink one. So, but I just thought I'd share that because I was so super excited with how well they were coming out and how much different they were than what I printed. Yeah, wow is right. I felt the wow factor when I was doing it too. I had that jaw dropping, wow, this is really awesome. I even called Dale over and was like, hey, look at this. These look so much better when you color them yourself. And he was like, they look really good. Okay, so what I'm doing is giving us with the RV29, and I may go back in with a one shade darker of a color to really get it to pop on our little dino. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. So I put a bunch more up here because the top of his head will be shadowing that, and this is more on the side, so I'm not going to fill in any of this just yet. And then here, the dip part, I'm going to just kind of meet these just to kind of start shaping out this part of her head. So it'll start giving her. Yes, finding time to color is hard. So I'm not gonna lie, I started working on them quite some time ago, and I decided to do just skin tones. Look at how many I have skin tones colored on. And then it stops. So I have about 8 sheets where all the skin is done, none of the colors. So I was like, that's it. I'm done coloring skin tones for now. I want to get into some awesome colors. So I just decided to stop and go ahead and start coloring. But I really only get a few of them done, you know, like maybe 2 or 3 in each session when I sit down, because I do want to take my time with them, because I want them to look really good, because I am going to put them in a Rolodex and refer to them when I want to, you know, change up colors or whatever. So, oh, look at that. I got distracted and I didn't even do any of the other shadowing. I only did that part. So I'm going to go back to this one. Sorry, got distracted by the awesomeness of the color cards. Anyway, they don't get a lot of advertisement. A lot of people don't talk about them. I mean, sometimes when Jamie puts a new one out, it gets a little bit of advertisement, but I'm super happy with them. I think you guys would be too if you wanted to try them. You don't have to buy them all together. I could do them on there. I definitely could. I just have to make sure Jamie is okay with that, but yeah, I probably could. But yeah, they're really fun, and I like them a lot. I'm super happy with them. But if you wanted some practice, they are great. And it was really my mom that drove me to think, oh, I should get those color cards done. I really should, because I have a little bit of time right now. Not a lot, but a little bit. So I just do a couple here and there on each time I'm able to sit down and pull my markers out. But you know, I got shipping and other stuff going on, so, and we have the expo this weekend and Honey's birthday, and Lots and lots of stuff going on. Okay, so I'm just picking hey Michelle, I'm just picking the areas that I want the darkest shading to be. So that's just kind of what I'm doing right now, and that can be whatever you want, however you want your light to go, or you can have multiple light sources, whatever floats your boat. But I'm just picking the areas I think would be the best for me. I also want to do a little bit right up here underneath this horn. So I think this one would really be shadowing that. The other one is on the other side of the head, so like this one I'm shadowing, but the other one I'm not going to put any there. You need them because you need a lot of help. Well, that's why I was doing a little bit of practicing, so maybe we could do them some of them together, just to get practice. But whenever I do color cards like that, my biggest recommendation for you would be make sure that you color all the skin tones on that sheet in the same color. Like choose a color combo that you really like for skin tones and color all the skin tones the same way. It gets you so much practice, and it gives you the true variant of the color because all the skin tones are the same. If you vary the skin tones and then add all the color, it doesn't give you quite the same perspective of the brightness and the shadowing of the variance between each color combo because you're distracted by all the different skin tones you see. So if you're going to cut them up into, little cards, I'm not really sure how much that really matters to you, but when I do color cards, I try to choose one skin tone and stick with it unless I'm practicing skin tones, and then all the clothes would be the same and the skin tones would be different, because then you're truly seeing, your eye goes right to what's not consistent, and it's just helpful that way. So that was RV29. This is RV19, and this is going to bring in a little bit of a purple shade. It's more of a purpley pink. So that's my tidbit of information for you on color cards. I'm going to put a few little marks in here, but I'm not going to fill it in solid just yet. We'll do that with the next color. But I am going to go along under each one of these horns because I do want that part to be rather dark, because those horns are sticking up, but you also want to think that they're also embedded into that part of the dinosaur. So you can tell how this is changing to a purpley tone from the pink that it was. So I'll hold it up a little closer so you can see how it's changing from a pink to kind of a purple pink. Hopefully you can see that. I can see it live, but sometimes it doesn't come up quite as good on the video. So I'm going to start pulling this together because we want to show that's his neck area. And I'm just pulling out from where I put that original color. The bottom of his belly would be the darkest, so we're going to make sure that gets colored in. And this part back here will all be shadowed by this big headdress he's got going on here. I think sometimes repetitive stuff is really good when you're practicing doing the same thing over and over again. So these color cards, I'm repeating the same skin tone, so I'm making them look the same. I'm coloring them over and over and over again So I'm getting all that practice of repeating that same pattern over and over and over, and it is so helpful to people who want to practice more. It's really super helpful for them. I'm going to do a little bit from here. I'm going to go down a little bit further. A little bit from here. Around where his little horn is. And then I'm also going to put a little bit up under his eye right there. Now this dinosaur eye, we are going to actually, I don't want to touch it with my marker, but this part right here, that's not going to be like the eyelid, that's going to be the white of her eye, and then this is going to all be color. Just so you know where I'm going with my coloring on this one. Okay, so the next one is like the middle color, so the true color, the one we use more of, and it's RB09. Still got 5 people here. I didn't lose anybody talking shop there. So I am actually coming down from these darker colors I put here, and then going up from here. Yes, they do have the marker numbers. They have the marker numbers already on them for the use, so there's no making up your own or thinking of your own. All the colors are on there, so it gives you really good practice for color combos that you might want to use on other things. It's a super neat thing. And they're digital download. They're very easy to print. When they got sent to me, they just came and they were like in a PDF form, and I just double clicked on the email. It pulled it up. I said download it. It downloaded it. So I went to my downloads, double clicked on it, opened it up in, I don't know, some Adobe Reader or something, and I just said print the file, and it printed just perfectly on Sweet Sentiment paper. So I printed everything on Sweet Sentiment paper, even the colored ones, because I wanted them to be on the same paper so you would get the same effect from the printed copy to the colored copy. I didn't want it to be, really different. So, and it took me a full pack of Sweet Sentiment paper, and maybe a extra sheet or 2 to finish it up, but with all 11 sets. So it's well worth it using it on Sweet Sentiment paper, though. I really like them that way. And if you're going to practice, you should be practicing on the paper that you're going to use. Otherwise, it's like all papers behave differently. So if you're practicing on one paper and then trying to color on another, well, that would be the reason why you're struggling. So I only use Sweet Sentiment paper when I'm coloring, so that I have the consistency and the understanding of how this paper will react to each type of marker, and how much, whether I need to do 1 coat or 2 coat of colors, or it's just learning the paper. But if you're switching around to different papers, that makes it a lot more challenging. So I don't do that. I just use the Sweet Sentiment paper. It's my favorite. So I just stick with it. So the answer to your question was yes, the color cards come with the numbers printed on them. So you don't have to worry about making up your own. So now I'm using this true color right here, this RB09. to kind of fill in most of the background and most of the, you know, the outside. It's the one that has the most used of that color on it. So I'm going around the back of the eye because I want to show some depth there. And then RV25, so it's a jump back up after RV09 to a different number sequence, but then we have one more color after this, so we're going to put this one in there, leaving a very small area for the last color, which is going to be pretty bright. So we're going to leave just a teeny tiny space for that one. So I'm coloring and filling your head with knowledge all at the same time. What do you think about that? It's kind of like a bonus night tonight. And if you have any questions, feel free to jump in. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Ooh, she's going to be much brighter pink than she originally looked like she was going to be, doesn't she? Because this pink is way brighter. Can you see that bright difference? Thank you. And I like to learn too. I'm like, if I'm going to watch somebody else doing it, I would hope that I would learn something from it. So not only will you learn like how I actually color, just like as if you were sitting in my house with me, but you also get to hear the tips that I think of while I'm doing it. I do the same thing when I teach a class. I try to give as much knowledge as I can think of when I'm doing it. And sometimes I even make notes before so I can make sure you get the biggest bang for your buck. Not that you're paying anything for these lives. You just get to color with me. I know a lot of people don't color when I'm coloring at night. They just kind of watch. But I know there's quite a few people who go back and watch those videos based on the comments and some of the messages I've gotten and pictures of people practicing the technique that I taught, you know, many nights before they send the message. But so I feel confident that even if there aren't like a ton of people watching, I know people are going back and watching it later, so that makes me feel really good. If I didn't think anyone was getting anything out of it, it would make me feel not so happy and excited as I am to come on here and share and play. So as long as I feel like you guys are loving it and wanting to do it, then I do too. I mean, honestly, I'm coloring anyway, so except for tonight I was actually helping my husband put his costume on, but you watch, yeah, I know, because you comment, Cheryl, so I know that you're rewatching them, because after I post them and I see the comments out there, I'm like, oh, is she watching the YouTube too? So that's awesome. I love that. The more YouTube watching we get, the better and it is for our YouTube channel, so we're always open for that. So this is our last color, and this is RV06, and it is a very bright color. I'll show you. See how bright that is? Really super bright compared to the colors that we were already using. So this is really going to brighten up those highlight areas, which I so want it to do because I think that's so super pretty. Yes, and we have a few left too. That's awesome. Yeah, that's right, Rinska. Me too. Sometimes I watch other people too, just because you never know when you're going to learn a trick or a tip to try yourself and see if you like it. Some of them, I'll try it and I'll love it. And some of them I'll try it and be like, yeah, that's not for me. Because not everyone colors the same, so sometimes it's, you know, what works for you, and sometimes it's not. So, you know, you got to try it out. I mean, if we all just colored the same thing all the time the same way, you know, we'd get a little bit bored. We like to, I like to switch it up a lot. I'm a big time switch it up kind of gal. That's why I started doing the swatching. Because when I started doing this, you know, swatching it out like this, once I started doing that, I was able to try much wider range of different variety of markers together. And that technique started, I didn't actually see anybody do that. I just decided one day I'd really like to put these together, and after doing a few failures, I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this. So I'm just going to test these markers and see how it goes. And that was the answer. That was the key for me. I lightened this one area up just a little bit too much, so I'm going back with the previous color and just making that a little bit darker. So that it'll look better. And when I show it to you up close, you can see it. I don't mix and match marker brands, but I mix and match color families and number families. So just because it's... So when you take the Copic certification class, first they teach you a bit about... When you choose your markers, choose them in the same color family, so the same number on the top. So if you do RV, stick with RV. And then the first number, keep that one the same. And then the last number, you go 2 to 3 off. I did, Angela. Yes, I did. And so they teach you how to do that. So when you first take those certification classes and you're learning how to color and everything, most people are saying, okay, well, I want to use RV02, 04, 06, 09. And that works. They do blend well. But when you use that method for a year or so and you're really used to it, oh, yay! And you get really used to it, you want to branch out and do something else. So you want to start crossing the color families. Well, maybe I'll use, you know, a red, violet, and a red, or a RV and a V. Still keeping them close to the color family, but still staying in the same number sequence. But then after time, you're like, okay, I've done all of that. I need something different. I want some different kind of pop of color or something. And so then when I realized you could cross the color families, like you could put the blue with the green and the, you know, I was like, ooh. And then we started looking at rainbow, and we started looking at like all these different things that you could do. I started saying, well, I want to do something, you know, blue, but I want to throw in a green color. So then I just started crossing numbers, and now I don't really pay attention to any of the numbers. I just do this. I pick ones that I'm familiar with all the colors. I kind of can look at it. I can look at a color of a shirt and tell you what closest color number of a Copic it is. So I know the colors. So when I start picking them up, I usually know if it's pretty close. Sometimes I'm not sure which one's going to be darker than the other. So I swatch it, and if it blends, then I use it and see how it comes out. And so I just mix colors all the time. And I don't keep with any number combos or whatever, and I just go with it. Just go with whatever I want to do. So that's how it works. Yes, I do that with my hair all the time. Sometimes so my hair, the base of my hair is done with red. And then sometimes I throw in purple by itself. Sometimes I throw in purple and like a fuchsia color, which would be more like an RV. And they mix the purple and the RV together, and then I put that in with the color. Sometimes we do it with the purple and blue, so like a blue violet kind of, or a blue. We mix those together and throw them in. So yeah, we are totally crossing color families on my hair, for sure. So this is our pink little dinosaur the way we have it done right now. So you can see how some places look really, really bright pink, and some places look, you know, more darker or more of a, you know, like a purpley color. But it's super cute. And I don't think that we really need to add any other color in with the pink, because the pink really is showing what color I have right now. So my hair color right now is, we highlighted it, like bleached highlights in it. While they were bleaching, we colored my hair red. And then when we took the bleach, oh my gosh, what do you call that? When we took the aluminum foil off, or whatever they call those things, and my hair was red with these blondish looking streaks in it, then we put purple with a blue base under it together. So purple and blue together, and then put that on top. And so it kind of mixes with the red and covers all the blonde. So yeah, we are yeah, exactly. Oh, coloring stamped hair? Oh yeah, I for sure do stamped hair. I definitely mix the colors on stamped hair for sure. And I'm going to do it a whole lot more now that I'm doing these color cards, because let me tell you, these color cards have given me some really good ideas on mixing hair and changing hair up. So I'm super excited about that. So we got to do her eye. And I kind of feel like her eye should be a blue color. So yes, you are right, Michelle. I am going to do it a lot. I do it a lot with hair, and I'm going to do it even more with hair. I'm going to be more adventurous with the hair. And yes, Angela, I was talking about what colors we did with my hair. So I kind of touched both of that real quick. I think for the eyes, for her eyes, I'm going to use some oh, you want to go green? Okay, we can go green. It doesn't have to be blue. It can be green. I can do green. Okay, so let's do Hi. We did color this dinosaur, but don't fret, we're not done. We're going to do another dinosaur here in just a minute, so you haven't missed everything. So no worries. No worries at all. Okay, so I'm going to pick 3 colors for her eye. We're going to color her eye. We haven't done her eye yet. So for green, I'm going to use 28 and then 67 and then this YG 25. So see, I'm mixing the G's and the YGs. I am not keeping the numbers the same. I am not working Friday. And then this is my favorite one to come back in to give that magic look too. So let's start with 28, then we'll go to 67, 25, and then we'll throw in that G00 because I love doing that. Okay, so with G28, and we're going to do this eye more like we do the human eyes. So I'm going to go around the outside with this darkest shade. I'm also going to go around the black part of the eye, and then I'm going to put a few little, and you can tell I'm moving my marker across there a lot, but I'm only touching it every now and then. And then I'm going to do a few from this side, but very, very small. And I'm going to show you each step of the way what I'm doing really up close. So I went around the outside of the eye, right close to the black, and then I put a couple of streaks going this way and a couple going this way. And this is what's going to build that more realistic looking eye. Then I'm going to come in with YG67, and I'm just going to go over those areas where I put those little brush strokes, and then I'm going to do in between going this way. So I am barely touching the paper with this color. So you can see I used a lot more of it real close up here and then just a little bit around the outside. Yeah, I hear ya. It's been hundreds here and then 90s at night. So yeah, it's super hot here. See if we can get this a little bit closer for you. Okay, so this one is going to be YG25, and this is the one where I'm going to just fill in the rest of that area going in both directions so we can get that good blend. It's not really focused all that well when you're that close. I'm still going to hold it up a little bit and see if I can get the focus to come in just a little bit better. And then I'm going to use this G00, and I'm just going to go, I'm going to turn her upside down so you can really watch this happen. So I'm going to take this marker and I'm going to go in this half moon shape right here. I'm just going to keep doing it back and forth until it starts lightening up that area. Once it does, so you saw how much that lightened it, the magic eye marker. It is the magic eye marker. So when it lightens so much like that, it's just gorgeous. And then I'm going to come back in with not the first marker, but the second one, YG67. And I'm going to emphasize where I had those lines to show the eyes. So you can still see the lines. So it looks more realistic. Now see, you can see those lines I put in with YG67, like very obvious. So what we're going to do is soften those again with the G00. That's the magic one. We're just going to go over that area, that same area that we went, but just don't do it too much, because if you do too much, you'll wash out what you just put in there. So now we have this more realistic looking eye here. So it's very bright. It stands out when you look at it from a distance. It's going to really pop. And I really like it that way. So now we have, I'm going to back out a little bit because we got to do another dinosaur. I think my light is shining really bright on this tonight. But so here's our little pink dinosaur with the little green eye. Super cute, huh? Okay. So, the next dinosaur we are going to do, thank you, Amy, is we're going to do the Stegosaurus. Mom wanted to do the Stegosaurus, and she's the only one who commented on which one they wanted me to color next, so we're going to do that. And then tomorrow night, we'll do the T-Rex and the Pterodactyl. And then we'll have all but one of the dinosaurs colored. And we are definitely not going to skip the Velociraptor, I can tell you that. So we're going to color this cute little Stegosaurus right here. So now we have these two. This is the one we did last night, the one we just did now. And those colors are really good together. I like those a lot. So we're going to hold on to these because one night next week, we're going to make cards out of these little guys. So I'll come up with some really nifty things for us to do. But now we have to choose colors for this one. I did them in yellow the last time, so I don't really want to use the yellow, but I do think I want to use a little bit of orange. Orangish brown, I think maybe. But we're going to need a color to go with that, and I don't want to do, well, we could do purple with that. We could do purple. We could give him a fire belly if we wanted. Let's do, okay, let's do that. Let's give him a fire. Oh, I always go live at 10 p.m. Central Time. Okay, I can do orange and blue. I always go live at 10 p.m. Central Time, and that's what time I'm going to go live tomorrow. Oh, orange and sepia. Yeah, I think I might want to do that. That sounds better to me. Not that I don't like orange and blue. I do. But we did do blue on this one. So let's give it just a little bit of a different take on that. So tomorrow night we're going to do those two dinosaurs. Tonight we're going to do this one and the one we just did. And then I'm looking for the color that actually defines itself as sepia. I don't even know what number that is. Oh, 37, E37. Okay. Yeah, I am a night owl. I always go live at 10 p.m. Try to get done by 11:30. Sometimes it's more like midnight, but tomorrow night I can do it a little bit longer just because we're off on Friday for Dale's birthday. So we're going to be going out to Friday, so there will not be a live at 10 p.m. on Friday because we'll be out celebrating Dale's birthday. But there will be, I'm pretty sure Jamie's going to have one some other time during the day on Friday, so at least you'll get one of us on Friday. And then, look, I got these markers put away backwards. No wonder I was so confused. I might struggle a little with the sepia color because I've never tried to make that color before. But we're going to try tonight. So we're going to pull out some random colors to try and make with that. And maybe we'll come out with the right color. So I pulled some brownish sepia colors and I pulled some orange colors. And this is not going to be a really bright orange dinosaur, but let's test these out. So this one is YR18. So we're doing our test. And this one is YR27. That one's much darker. See, YR27 looks much darker to me than the 18, so we'd have to use that one first. And then the 18. And then we'll try the YR15. I'm going this way because I think that's the way they need to go. And then YR24. I'm not sure I'm liking that combo at all, but I do think that this could go with our sepia color, and so could this. So let's swap it up a little bit. I still don't have my orange colors yet. And maybe I'll only use 3. So I'm definitely going to use this YR18 because I really like that. And then maybe we'll use YR07 and see how that goes. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that. And then we'll try YR15. Oh yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that in a 3 color. I'm super happy with that. So I think what we're going to do is, I really like this orange colors, and I really liked this YR27 and YR24, and I like this color with that color. So I think what we're going to do is use these two at the bottom of all these spikes, and these 3 at the top of all these spikes. So we're going to use 2 colors at the bottom and the other colors at the top. And then for his belly, we're going to leave out these 2 colors. So I'll show you how that works here in just a minute. No, she did not do one today. She didn't do a live today. I don't know what she was up to today. I didn't even talk to her today. Texted a few times, but I didn't really talk to her today because I was working and I had my grandbaby, and oh, I think she might have been like out having some fun. I mean, I do kind of know a little bit about what she was doing, but I want to let her tell you guys what she was doing. Okay, so I'm going to start out. I wanted to clear out my little Dino watch. Okay, so YR27 and 24. So we're going to start out with the YR27 and 24. And I'm going to use it for these spikes back here in the back, the tail spikes. And then I'm going to start going on these spikes in here. So I'm going to do this little shape right here. Now this one behind, it's going to get a lot of color on that one. And then this one, going to be like that. This one's going to get a lot of color because it is behind and underneath this one. And this one in the front is just going to get this little shape right here. And then this one's going to get a whole lot under there. And repeating the same thing. This one's going to get a lot up in here because it's going to be dark. This one's just going to get that. And there's many ways to color this. Yeah. There's a lot of different ways you can color this. I mean, whenever there's a pattern like this, you can do, you know, every other one a certain color, or, you know, but just for tonight, we're going to do it this way. Pretty sure we'll color these dinosaurs again someday. And we'll change it up. At that point, we won't do the same thing. We'll do different. Okay. So then we're going to use this YR24, which I could put right there. I'm going to leave just a teeny tiny part of the tip to put another color in there. Not much, just a little bit. And then this one, we're going to keep that color just barely at the bottom of these because we're going to bring in the orange colors. So the ones in the back won't get as much of the orange color as the ones in the front because they're behind and they're the back side of the other ones. So we're bringing in this brown, yellow, red kind of, this YR, almost like a brownish color. This kind of reminds me of the inside of flowers. I sometimes use these colors inside of flowers when I do them. But today they are going to do these spikes. They'll also blend really well with the like sepia color that we're getting. Okay, so that was just 2 colors, but the other 3 colors we're going to use YR18, YR07, and YR15. So starting with YR18, and I'm not going to touch these 4. I'm going to start with this one in the back because I want it to be pretty dark there. Sorry, I had a wanderer roam across my paper. So I'm adding this orange in, kind of from the bottom and a little bit up in the middle. So, well, you'll be able to see it a little bit, but not a whole lot right now. I am okay with that. That's the way I kind of want it to be. You'll be able to see the orange a lot more when we bring in the other 2 colors. I'm not doing this real smooth because we'll smooth it out with the next markers. Plus it's spikes, it doesn't have to be smooth. Yeah, I like using these colors as well. Okay, so now YR07 is going to jump to a much more vibrant orange. And then YR15 is going to look like a pumpkin. So this is going to give a little bit of like a 2-tone to these spikes, which I really like. Filling in any little, just doing more of a, like a dotting in the areas where I left a little bit of white down there when I was filling them in because I didn't do it smooth. So I'm just touching a little bit of it in different places. You could almost do these like iridescent and make the other ones shine through. That'd be super cool too. I have so many ideas with these dinosaurs, it's not even funny. YR15 is the next one. And this time I'm going to come from the top down because I want to keep that color. And I am going to touch the spikes with this color. I want to keep this color really showing. I don't want to blend that other one into it too much. So I'm going to go from the top into the color I already had there. So you can see the difference. The bug, little gnat bug flying on my paper. How dare they? He just won't give up, will he? So you can see the tips are quite a different color than the rest of the spikes. Ooh, it's so pretty. I like it a lot. It turned out better than anticipated. I like when that happens. It makes me super happy. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Look at that. It's really gorgeous. It's an absolutely beautiful color. I really like that. That came out super duper awesome. You think YR17? Could. let's do his belly. We're going to do his belly in these 3 colors. We're not going to pull in the brown. I know, he is starting to come along alive, isn't he? I did YR15, not Y15. I used YR15. Okay, so this is YR18. This is where we're going to have the darkest, but this is going to be way more orange than the brown orange you see down here. But I'm doing that on purpose. I really want those spikes to stand out a little different than his belly. Oh, somebody's texting me on my work computer. Can you hear that dinging? That's what that is. I am not opening that up, that's for sure. We are a global company, so it doesn't surprise me that a text would come through this late at night, but it's all those people working on the other side of the world. Okay, YR07. This is the brighter orange. It's also the middle number, so it's going to get a lot more on it than the other colors will. So his belly's going to be a little bit brighter than his spikes, but I like it. I like it that way. I wanted it to have a fire belly. And I think his belly will be brighter this way. And we could always throw in some, you know, Y17 or Y15 if we wanted to brighten it a little more, but we'll see how it goes with this one. So I'm going to do that back and forth to really blend those colors together. I'm going to do the same thing here, back and forth and back and forth. Helps blend. Also allows me to leave the pen on the paper a little bit longer and really get that saturated color. It's definitely orange. When I look at it, it's definitely lighter than this area. I'm not sure how much you can see on camera, but it definitely has a variant there for sure. Now I will throw in this Y15 real quick, just because we wanted him to have a fire belly. We'll just kind of go over that lightest area with this one and lighten it up just a little bit lighter. So maybe you can see it better on camera, that it looks much lighter than the rest. And maybe once I get the sepia type tone into his body, you'll be able to see the darkness of this stand out. We'll see. We'll keep going. Not stopping now. Before I move on though, I definitely want to get that tongue colored. So this is RV32. And I'm just going to put that in the back. And then I am going to throw in, where's my R11? I know I refilled it tonight. Here it is, R11. Then I'm going to take my R11 and I'm just going to bring that up to a little bit higher pink color. So there we go. I'm going to do this one more time, this RV32, just to make sure that that closest inside is darker. I like that. I'm happy with that. So I'm sticking with that. I'll show you closer so you can see it. See how that inner part of his tongue is a little darker. Oh, look, you can see the orange is way better up close, huh? Super pretty. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. So we have to try to make that sepia tone, which I have not done before. But let's start with E37, because E37 is actually called sepia. You see that? Come on, zoom in. Anyway, the name of that is actually sepia. So let's do that one. So it's a little bit darker than what I envision sepia as, but and then I'm gonna try this E17, which is reddish brash, so it might not be quite, well, I like it. Let's stick with that. Let's try E15 and see how that does. It's alright. It's not quite getting me to the where I want to be. Let's try E35. Nope, still not. Well, I do kind of like that. Let's try 34 instead of 35. Now we're just going to have a whole bunch of color. Yeah. That's what I want. Let's try this. I don't want to go into E13 because I think that has too much of a skinny tone to it, and I'm not a fan of that. So let's try, okay. Now that we played around with some colors, let's go back. This is, I want to start with the sepia tone, which is E37. This is going to be our first number. I'm going to put it right there. This is E17. That's going to be our second color. Then this E15 is going to be our third color. And then E34 is going to start bringing us much, much lighter. And it will wash out some of that reddish color from the previous one. And E31, much, much, much lighter. So I think we're going to run with that one. I'm a little bit worried about this one messing up the sepia, but we're going to roll with it anyway. I just wanted to look and see. I might want to switch those out. Hold up. One more time. Yeah, let's switch those out. Let's switch that E17 and 15. Let's switch the E17 and the E15 for these yellow colors. I think I might like that better. Okay, one more time. Sometimes this takes a bit, sometimes it rolls right off. This one is the E37 that we're going to start with. This one is YR27. I think that one looks a lot of kind of reddish on the camera too. Then YR24, which starts bringing it a little bit more down to like a yellow color, so that when we do E34, it blends a little better, still lighter. And then the E31, yeah, I like that. So that's what we're going to go with. I have now decided. So look at that. It took me 3 tries to get the one that I wanted. So don't be afraid. I also had, look at how many other colors I had. 3 more colors to try. But I decided we're going to roll with this one. I think I think when you look at this color, putting those 2 YRs is going to pull this all together. And I think it'll make it look really good. So that's what we're going to do. So here we go. You guys ready? It'll either work or it won't. E37. It's going to be our first color. E37. It's going to be our darkest color. This is where we're going to put all the shadow area at. So I'm going to start down here in the belly. Behind the legs. Right here. I do like to put this darkest shade between the belly and the bottom of the dinosaur, just to give some true definition there. I'm also going to do that with this piece right here where I'm just putting a baseline there. I just like to do that. That's a personal preference. You are not required, nor do you have to, but that is my desire. I'm going to do this leg that's on the underside and this one that's on the underside. Then I'm going to do just the bottoms, a little bit of the back of that one. Now for this one, for the next step, I don't want to do much in the face at all. I am going to do a little bit on the back of the head. I do want to come out from where these spikes are with this color. And I am going to do it in teeny tiny brush strokes, because I need a big definition between these spikes and his back. I'm going to do it all the way along this back, right until the spikes end, and then I'm going to stop. I'll put a teeny bit along the bottom here too. So that is all I'm going to use for the darkest color for now. I reserve the right to go back and change my mind later. Okay, YR27. We're still going to use a small amount of this one. We don't want to use too much, because we don't want to bring in that too much of that yellow-orange color. So, or yellow-red, whatever you want to call it. So we're just pulling out just a little bit further than where we originally put that color. I do kind of like this, these two together. Down his little feet. This is the one we're going to use between the toes. Along the back side of his leg. Same thing with this one. Kind of showing a little more shadow there because he's lifting up his leg. So he's about to take his next step. Okay, so our next step is going to be, we're going to do just a little bit further up here with this color. We're going to come down the back of his neck. This is where we're going to start building in this little part here, where his neck, you know, because we're going to show that that's his neck. Then we're going to pull out from where we put this last color all the way along his spikes. They are going to cast a big shadow because they are big spikes. I'm going to do this color along the bottom of his neck here. And then the top lip right there, just a little bit. I think we should put just a tad under his eye, because this one is much darker than the next color. Okay, so that was YR27. This one is going to be YR24. I hope this is close enough that you guys can see the details. Again, we're going to start where we left off on the other one, and we're going to start filling it in. This is the third color, so we definitely want to get that color in there pretty definite, because it's going to be like the true color. It's super pretty so far, huh? That was a good call. That orange is really going to stand out. Good call on the orange and sepia, whoever that was. Okay, this is the one where I'm going to go where his leg meets the body. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Probably not all the way, but pretty darn close. Kind of building up his leg now. So I'm going to go back to this one because I want to get this one laid in. I'm going to go over his toenails with this color. Up the back of his leg. Same thing with this one. Up the back side of this one's leg. Leg. Okay. Then down from here and over the toenails. Starting to look pretty. Since this is our true color, I am going to come along the front line of this leg too. I wasn't going to, but I changed my mind. I think we're all allowed to do that when we're coloring. going to extend this out quite further. In fact, I think I'm just going to come all the way around. Going to darken that, come along the back side here. This is where I'm going to close in that part of his neck. A little bit up from here. That's about all I'm going to put in the face right now. So now I'm going to go back to this area right here. Extend it down a little bit further. I am going to have to go over this more than once because I want to soften that meeting between this darkest color and the current color. So I'm going to go over that one more time just to kind of give that a little bit more of a smooth transition. This time I'm only going back as far as the second color. I'm not touching that one that's closest to the dinosaur spikes, and that will blend that just a little bit better. So there we go. That's coming along nicely. We have 2 more colors. These are going to be a lot lighter, so this is going to start lightening him up a little bit. So E34 will be next. This is actually called Toast. That's the name of this marker. I don't ever pay attention to the names very often, but I just happened to see that this is Toast. So this is our second to last color, so we're going to fill in a significant amount and just leave some small areas for highlight. And this is going to bring us back to that more of a brown color. Looky, looky. That's pretty good for never making sepia before. Kind of coming together. Honestly, when you do photography and you do editing to photography, there are so many different shades of sepia. It's crazy. So when I think of sepia, I think of a picture. But it is definitely, when you're doing editing, it is definitely a much more complicated thing. When somebody says sepia to me, I'm usually like, would you like that light, dark, medium? You have to be careful when you're doing photographs, though, because some people don't look good in sepia. And so you have to change the base tone of the sepia to get the right tone for their skin. And some people just don't look good in sepia at all. They look much better in black and white. So you just have to play with it. Probably more than you wanted to know for photography, but there you go. In case you didn't know, in case you're more newer to me than I think, I am also a professional photographer. I went to school for it, so I have a lot of experience in color for photography. So this one is E31. This is our last color. We have to be a little bit careful because this one will lighten the other colors if we leave it on the paper too long. It's already done it right there. You see that? So we need to be real careful. Otherwise, we're going to have to go back over, which I'm okay with. Because it looks like we might need to, do the tip to tip, but I think this is going to give us some texture, so I'm going to wait before I add anything else and see what the final result looks like before we go freaking out about our colors. Because look how cute that is. See? You know exactly what I mean. One is cooler, one is warmer. I know. Sometimes, like when you do a bride and groom or something, one can take this sepia color and the other one just can't, and so it's really challenging. But hey, no worries. There's always some color you look good in. There's always one for everybody. Also, everybody has one eye bigger than the other. Did you know that? Photographers should always put you on the side that has the bigger eye. It's your better side. That's how you know what your better side is for photography. Just saying, in case you didn't know. So if your photographer stares you in the face when you go to do pictures, that's what they're looking for. Which eye of hers is bigger? What's her better side? That's how we can tell what your better side is. Photography secrets you always wanted to know or never wanted to know. Hard to tell. You didn't know that? Yep. Everybody. Everybody. And you can tell, if you look really close, you can tell which one. Everybody has one eye that's bigger than the other. That's your better side. I'm pretty sure that if you look, you already know in your mind which side you'd rather take your pictures on. And if you look really close, you'll be able to see that that side that you think is your better side is the side where your eye is bigger. I haven't run into anybody that didn't agree once I explained it and showed it to them. They were like, wow, that always is my favorite side to take my picture. Like, yeah, that's why. Okay, so I'm just taking this E34 and going over where some of the areas got lightened up more than I really wanted them to with this E31. So I'm going to do a bit of back and forth with that one. So I'm back on E31 right now. I want to come in with my E34. This is my E34. I'm doing some switching back and forth. This is my E31 again. This is kind of blending these out, almost doing a little bit of a tip to tip, but on the paper instead of actually mixing them. You're not a weirdo. It isn't. Everybody has it. It's either, sometimes it's that one eye opens wider than the other. One looks like it's more closed, but it's really because one eye is bigger than the other. It's crazy. So this one, E34, see this part of the tail is a little bit too light. So I'm just going to do a really quick sweep of this one. And then I'm going to go back with the E31 and do exactly the same thing so it doesn't stay in that much darker tone. It'll lighten it up again, just not too much. And that brings me to that tone that I really want. I am okay with this part of the leg showing with that significantly lighter because it does look like the sun is shining on those two parts of his leg. So I'm going to leave that, but the body, that would just be weird looking. So that's why I wanted to fix that. And really when you start with the color, this is E31 again. When you start with the colors and they're pretty light, like this is a pretty light color, you can always do it darker. Like if that lightens it up too much and you don't like it, then, you know, pull out E33 and use E33 and 34 and 35 and like fill in the gaps and make it darker. It's your little guy, so you can do it however you want. This is my multi-liner because, let me show you up close. Okay, so this looks really good. Like I really like these colors. But you see right here, there's some white spots. And this looks a little bit white and sketchy here. And a little bit on his head. And then this part right here. So that's when I stamped it. I didn't get a really good stamp. So what I'm going to do is just go in with my multi-liner and kind of fill those little gaps in that are not as dark as they should be. So I'm just filling in those white spots. I'm not really putting it into the dinosaur at all. I can really see them and they're just going to drive me insane. It's going to bother me. Not most people probably wouldn't notice it at all, but it's going to really bug me. So I'm just going to fix it right now while we're here so you guys can see how I fix that when it bugs me. Just take a multi-liner, go through and darken it up a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing with the eye. I want to make the eye dark enough, and also around the eye. Now this one, when we colored this eye, we're going to color this eye the same as we did this one, where we're going to leave some white in there, because this one doesn't have an eyelid or anything, and so we're going to leave some whites in the eyes. I'm going to hold this up close so we can see if there's any more. See how much that fixed those white spots that we saw? I see one more. Right there. So see how much better that looks? You can't see that white peeking in anymore, and it just changes everything. It just looks so much better. So that's what I was doing with that. Just take some multi-liner. This multi-liner right here, in case you didn't know, it's called a multi-liner SP. So if you're buying a multi-liner and you buy the one that says SP, then this, you can change the nib and refill this one. This is a refill marker. So it'll always be more expensive than this multi-liner that looks like this. This is the throwaway. When this one runs out, you throw it away, you buy a new one. It's cheaper, it's easier to get. This one is more expensive because you can pull these tips off and replace the nib, and then you pull this, there's like a little tool they give you where you pull off the end and the tube comes out and you put a new one in, and then you've replaced the ink on this one. So these ones that are in the silver case that have the SP after them, this big SP right here, this means that these ones are the refillable and you can replace the nib. These you cannot. There's no SP. See that? These are the throw it away when you're done. So just in case you didn't know that, you can get really good multi-liners, but you can also get really cheap multi-liners to do this little bit of black outlining, and you're great. Or double stamp it. I didn't, but I could have. Okay, so now we need to do the eye, and then we're done. So we can color any color eye we want, because I don't really know which dinosaur this is going to go with, but it would look good with this one too, because her eyes are almost the same color as a dinosaur. So we could do green or blue or brown or yellow or red. You can pretty much do any color eyes you want. She might look a little evil if we give her red eye. I mean, he might look a little evil if we give him red eyes, but then, you know, hey. He also could have been out late drinking that night. Just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Okay, I think let's do green, but let's do the green with the olive tone to it. So I'm just going to use 3 colors, and I'm not going to use the G00 this time because it'll mess up this olive color. Yeah, let me move the marker so you can see what color it is. So this is YG97. I'm going to do it really close to the eye. I'm going to do just a few little teeny tiny brush strokes away from that. So I'll show you up close what they look like, because this is really, really, see? Almost looks like fur coming off. And then I'm going to use YG95, and I'm going to draw where I want that outline of that eye to go. And I'm going to color that in. So this is what we have now. We have a sliver of white. We have a little bit in there. And this YG91 usually does the same kind of effect. So we're just going to do this back and forth and see if we can't get that same kind of effect with this marker. Let's do it again. Yep, we're going to get it. So I am going to do one more very, very thin line along the outside of the eye. This is hard to do for sure. You have to really have control with your markers. So don't freak out if you try to do that and it doesn't work out quite the way you wanted. And then this one, I'm going to go really close to the eye again because I want there to be just a little bit of that thick area there. Put my lines in there again. Hit it one more time with E91. Just to blend those and really make this one spot stand out. There we go. Now we have sweet eyeballs. And what's the last step we do on the eyes that we did not do on our dinosaur because we were letting her dry? We have one more step and then we're done. Dun, 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 dun. 5, 4, 3, 2. White gel pen. That's our next step. You have to put the little whites in her eyes because they just don't stand out if they don't have it. Look at how different that is. I mean, that just, like it makes everything. Look at this one and look at this one. Now watch this one. We're going to do it to this one too. Look at that. I mean, it makes a world of difference to add that white gel pen. It makes that eye look glassy. So don't forget your white gel pen. Best ones you can get are from Pear Blossom Press, and you can buy them in the shop. I believe we have them available now. They're not very expensive, but they are epic. Okay, so those are our 2 dinosaurs from tonight. We had one from last night. We now have 3. We'll do the other 2 tomorrow night. And we're going to do some pattern effect on him. Sort of like we did with this one, but we're not doing the same kind of pattern on him. Now, this one we could have stippled, but yeah. He looks a lot different, but he's really not that big. We measured him 3.5 inches, I think he was. So he's awesome. So these guys are littler, but look, we're going to have a whole zoo of dinosaurs. I'm super excited. I like how that came out a lot. So we'll be thinking about colors for them, and we will come back tomorrow and do some more. So have a good evening. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thanks for sticking through the whole process. Check out the color cards, and if you have any questions, let me know. I will be posting these videos on YouTube, but I don't know how many there are yet, so I haven't posted them. I'm going to wait until we have all of them done so I can say part 1, part 2, part 3. Yeah, so I can say how many parts there are. So they will be up soon. They're not up yet, but they will be up soon. So good night, everybody. Have a great evening. And I remember what Dale said. Love, peace, and chicken grease is what he thinks I should end my night every time. Yay. Oh, you're welcome. Yes, and try to tag people. I try to tag people who are online, and a few people I know come every time. But yes. Hi, Julie. We did these 2 tonight. And we did that one last night. So we have these 3 done. We're going to do T-Rex and Pterodactyl tomorrow. So definitely jump in. And Angela Peterson, if you're still here, this is what the set looks like. This is herbivores. And this is carnivores. So there you go. All right. Thanks. See y'all tomorrow. Good night.